lately, and quite frankly, popped up recently when I'm thinking about doing this thing that I'm thinking about doing. It seems like the past, I'd say about the past 3 to 5 years, every company, every equipment manufacturer or company that releases new equipment or new softwares has been trying to squeeze us dry for every single penny. And I'm tired of it. It's like it's getting exhausting. I remember the days where it seemed like they actually wanted to see you succeed using their equipment, but now it seems like everything is just a money grab for a lot of these companies. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are releasing equipment and softwares that we can use for our businesses to thrive if we have the business and if we're creative in using the technologies. But every single thing that comes out has either a subscription or a proprietary cartridge or a proprietary paper or like a code or something like that locked into it, to the point where you have to continue shopping with that company forever. You have to be locked into their ecosystem in order for the equipment that you purchased to function properly. Is it me? Am I tripping? Or does it seem like that to you guys too? Problem is, the more money you have to put out into your business, the less profitable your business can be. So it's a lot to think about, and it's a lot to digest when you're trying to choose the right equipment, when you're trying to decide if a specific printing method is the right printing method that you should go with. There's a lot to consider. And me personally, anything that has to do with a subscription or anything that like limits me from using other types of inks and things like that, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it at all. That's why a few years ago I ended and terminated Adobe my Adobe Creative Suites cloud subscription, because for years on top of years on top of years I was just paying a subscription so I can have access to the many different programs in Adobe Creative Suite, or Creative Cloud now that they call it. And I only primarily used Premiere Pro for editing my YouTube content and for editing videos. And for the most part, Premiere Pro played a big part in my video production journey over the years since I've been making videos. Then you got your Photoshop and your Illustrator. I use those occasionally too. But the subscription model just didn't make sense to me anymore when I found other programs that were either free or that you can pay once and to have the actual thing like forever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm thankful, and I'm that the subscription model is here because it creates an opportunity for people like you and me. But at the same time, when it comes to equipment, it's these companies are getting ridiculous with this stuff. Amen Sally Teresa says, photographer here. I condensed down to just photography option. Was not using the other, was wasting money. Yeah, definitely. A lot of you photographers, I guess Lightroom is a software that you guys use for photography, but still, there's a lot. Especially in the industry that I'm in, and there, some companies are changing the way they do business and adding subscriptions to things that used to be free. I'm not going to name any names or pick on any companies or anything like that, because that's not what this video is about. this video is just about, I wanted to kind of like put it in the front of your mind that one of the reasons why you might not be as profitable in your business, or quite frankly, your business might fail, might be because you're putting out too much money on a monthly basis for subscriptions and for things that might not be the best option for you. Like I said, I got rid of my Creative Cloud subscription, and for editing videos, I use DaVinci, because pay once for the suite and you got it forever. And for my graphic design stuff, I have Corel Draw, and I also have Affinity Photo and Affinity Design. That's what I use now. And I'm not going to say that they're the best softwares, but they're fully capable of doing exactly what I need them to do. And when I ended my subscription with Photoshop with Adobe, I did miss the software because I've been using it for so many years, and I was so familiar with the buttons. But you know, it is what it is. I'm tired of just giving them my money like every single month, all the time. So here I am after Juneteenth, thinking about my DTG printers and how much quality came out of the prints that I got from my DTG printers. DTG was a wave a few years ago, and I still think there's a space for it. But the fact still remains that DTG is not the right option if you don't have an established customer base, because you'll just be wasting inks. Now I'm talking about DTG because I was at this Juneteenth event and I made a bunch of money selling my DTF shirts, right? But I know I would have sold twice as much if those shirts would have been DTG. And I don't want to talk about what my plans are, because I'd rather just do it. But let's just say DTG is one of the things that I want to get back into in the near future, and I'm thinking about putting ink back into my Ricoh RI1000s. But the issue is, I don't know what's going on with Ricoh, the company, and it's sad because a lot of these companies, well, I won't say a lot, but it's just weird. It's a weird climate, because for a few years I was promoting the Ricoh RI1000 when Racoma was selling it, and I was telling you guys and showing you guys, telling as well as showing you guys how to take care of the machine to keep it up and running, and the quality that I was getting out of it for the long amount of time that I had my printer up and running. So you guys saw it, and I'm always showing you guys stuff rather than just telling you guys stuff, right? So that you guys can actually see it working on a consistent basis, so that you guys can trust in the equipment. As long as you follow the steps that I tell you to follow, your equipment will be running for a long time. But I'm in a lot of these creator groups, and I saw that Ricoh was actually selling their DTG brand. I don't know if I'm saying this right. They were selling it to a company called Riso. And Riso is a company that makes the digital screen printing box that I use to make my screens when I'm screen printing. It goes from your computer, the image sends from your computer and prints onto the screen directly, so you don't have to use Emotion, all that other stuff in screen print. But that's the company Riso. And I saw in one of the groups that Ricoh was selling their DTG stuff, and they were going to be handling it. Then next thing I know, I see another message like about a week later saying that they're not doing that anymore. And I go on Ricoh's website, and I don't see everything listed. Now I log on today and I see everything listed. So I decided to call Rico today and find out what was going on. And the guy I spoke to told me that, yeah, that deal's no longer happening. They're going to be selling their stuff again. But the fact still remains, I'm talking to this guy, right? And I asked him like what they were going to do about this issue that I was having, or if they had any solution about the issue that I was having with these cartridges that go in the Rico RI1000 along with all the other Rico printers and a lot of other DTG printers, to be quite frank, because the Epson printers has the same system, same type of system where you have to use their proprietary cartridges. So does Brother, the GTX, and so does a lot of the other DTG printers. But I asked him, I said, my only hesitation is because, hey, what's going on, Demps? How are you doing? My only hesitation would be because I'm limited to using Rico's ink cartridges. And I remember when my printer was up and running, that was one thing that I absolutely dreaded about that printer, is just buying ink cartridges at such a high rate per cartridge, knowing that I'm probably not gonna sell enough product to cover that. So I was always operating at a loss when I had my DTG printer. And I'm quite sure those of you guys that had a DTG printer can probably attest to this. I'd say the majority, more people probably lost money with DTG printers than made money. And that's why I'm talking about this subscription slash proprietary cartridge slash proprietary software to work with your machine model, because a lot of people, a lot of us are probably in the negative and are probably paying monthly bills that are not doing any justice or are not contributing significantly to our business to be paying these bills. So you got to think about it, and you got to ask yourself that question. You got to sit down and do some calculations and to figure out if it's worth it or not. And a lot of the times I don't think it is, because I don't see, like, if it was working out for everybody, everybody would be online talking about how great everything is, but they're not, right? People are just online figuring out different ideas and figuring out different ways they can use what they have to make more, to get more business and things like that. So that's what I'm seeing online. I don't know about you guys, along with a whole bunch of other stuff, political stuff that we're not going to get into because it's crazy climate right now. But yeah, the Rico rep said that they hadn't figured out anything with this issue that I was having, and I'll tell you the issue. And a lot of people that have the Rico R1000 specifically have this issue. So you buy this ink cartridge. At the time when I was buying the ink cartridges, they were $64 each. Now they're $70 each, so that's a $6 increase, right? Okay. I got two of the printers, so I'm still thinking about it. But then I asked him, I said, hey, there's been several instances, and I have several cartridges where I put it in my printer and the chip that's on the cartridge says that there's no ink in the cartridge, but I can physically hear and feel the ink swooshing around in the cartridge. What are you guys, do you guys have anything in place to deal with that? Do you guys have anything in place where we can reclaim that unused ink that I can physically hear that there's ink in the cartridge? And his answer was basically no. I'm gonna play the message for you guys. I recorded it. Let me try to, I don't even know where our messages are on this phone. Let me see if I can click that. Add new home screenshot. I don't even know where my messages are, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play. I'm gonna edit this video and I'm gonna add the recording to the playback. But it was kind of not kind of. It was really disappointing to hear. Amos Sai says your area is looking great. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But it was really disappointing to hear, because here I am with a product that I used before that I'm considering using again, but I'm dreading the loss that I'm about to take just to put ink back into the just to put ink. Let me see. Just to put ink back in the RI 1000. It's $70 each, right? Okay, so that's $70. Then you got black, cyan, magenta, white, white, because it takes two whites. So that's 5 ink cartridges. $70 times 5. Just to put ink back in the R1000, you're down $350 plus shipping. So let's just say you're down $400 just to see if the printer will work, because there's no guarantee that it's going to work because I've had it in storage for so long. When I put it in storage, I put cleaning solution in it and I capped the heads, but all that cleaning solution, it's been over a year now. It's probably dried out. So it's like, it's dried out, and there's a possibility that the head might not be functional. So I might need a new print head. So $400 plus new print head, possibly. That's a new print head is about $2,300, maybe like $2,400 with shipping and everything like that. So $2,400 plus the, it's just too much to get that thing going again. And I have 2 of them, mind you. So I'm really considering just getting rid of them for like a super, super, super low price and give the headache to somebody else and going a different route. DTG, but going a different route with DTG printing with a system that doesn't require me to use proprietary cartridges. And they're out there, they're just not here in the United States because they're not profitable for companies, so they don't go down that route, right? So David Ryland says, what ink do I like? I'm not understanding what you mean by what ink do I like. I'm talking about DTG printers. And when you buy a DTG printer like the RI1000, you can only use one ink, and that's the ink that Rico sells. So yeah, I don't like having to be stuck using a proprietary ink. I don't like having to be stuck using a proprietary paper. I don't like having to be stuck or having to be limited using a limited software because I didn't upgrade to the subscription that has all the bells and whistles and all the features that I really want to get to. I don't like having to use a software and not being able to access the software if I have to pay a monthly subscription. I don't like having to subscribe and having to pay for cloud storage for saving my videos and stuff. That's why I have hard drives all over the place, flash drives all over the place. Much rather buy G drives. These big G drives, I always buy these things right here, right? And they get full up, and then I buy another one. I don't like this industry is just like, it feels like they're just trying to suck us dry, and they're not trying to like really help us grow a business. And I felt like it needs to be talked about because you guys really need to consider the equipment that you buy and the direction that you go with your business moving forward, and the companies that we choose to patronize, because the more we patronize companies like that, the more other companies are going to follow that same business model, because those companies get richer and richer, and the other companies see it and they say, this is what we need to do to maximize, to raise our profits. And once we're limited to being forced to use proprietary things, all those different proprietary things, they charge us more money for it, and it eats into our profits, right? I want to be able to buy whatever ink I want to buy for my DTG printer. I want to be able to pay for software once, whether it be a high price or not, pay for it once and not have to pay monthly forever and never own the software. Just like music, we used to be able to buy CDs or cassettes if you're that old, or Blu-rays or whatever for movies, or DVDs for movies. Now we subscribe to a Netflix and we never own a movie. Now we subscribe to iTunes or to a SoundCloud, and we never own a song. We never get to see the album art. It's like now they're starting to put the technology in cars. Whereas though I've been watching videos saying that newer BMWs, you have to subscribe. Like if you buy an M car, you have to subscribe to buy the added performance that an M car is supposed to have in it. Some BMWs you have to subscribe and pay a monthly fee to access the heated steering wheel and the heated seats. The technology is already there, but you gotta subscribe to use it. It's crazy. BMW, I mean Mercedes, you have to subscribe to use your to use the app to use your remote start. It's ridiculous. And the more we choose to use this technology, the more that other companies are going to implement it, and we won't have any choice but to. And everything and soon everything's going to be a subscription. You're going to have, bad enough you're paying rent. You're going to have a subscription. We already got. Look, we got to pay a subscription. You can might as well say your lights and your electric and your gas. That's all a subscription. It's the same difference. Same thing, right? Doesn't roll over. Your phone, we got a subscription. Everything just eating into your profits. So I urge you guys, when you're looking at your next piece of equipment that you're going to buy for your business, or you're looking at your next business move that you're going to make, think carefully, move carefully, because you might be getting yourself into a trap. And some of these companies, like Epsom, for example, their inks are ridiculous. X-Tool's doing the same thing. X-Tool has proprietary ink, proprietary ink cartridges, and they have proprietary film, because their film has like a track on the side of it where you gotta lock it in the side of it so it rides the rails. I would hate to have that system, or it eats into your profit. You can only buy X-Tool film. Epsom, the printers, DTG printers, you can only buy their film. DTF printers, you can only buy their film. I mean their ink rather. And their ink is super expensive. Ricoh was one of the companies that had the cheapest cartridge-based systems, but now there's alternatives where you can still have the bulk and choose whatever ink you have. They've had it for a while. They've had it forever, actually. That was how it first started, but they're just not here in the U.S. You just got to buy it from overseas. So I think that's the route I'm going to take, because by the time I put ink back into the systems of my two R1000s, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. By the time I put ink back into the cartridge, back into the printers, if I need a new print head, that would be the price of buying one of these no-name DTG printers that I can pour my own ink to. Let's say even if I did spend the $400 and dump new ink into the Ricoh R1000, I'm still subject to having to buy their cartridges for $70 a pop every single time. And the ink does not last long on those machines at all, because it continuously cycles so that the lines don't get clogged. So even when you're not using it, it needs to stay on so that the ink circulates through the system so the inks don't get clogged. And every time it circulates, ink goes into the waste container. So if you let your printer sit there for let's say 2 weeks, it's like a quarter of your ink is gone already without you even printing one shirt. I don't like that. I don't like that. And then the chip tells you, oh, you need a new ink cartridge. And then you take the old ink cartridge out and put the new one in, but you shake the old ink cartridge and you hear this ink still's in there. And there's nothing you can do about it because the chip is reading that the cartridge is empty. So not only do you have to pay for the proprietary ink, but you're also missing out and throwing away some of your investments because the chip is what tells it if it's ink in there. It's not even the cartridge; it's the chip on there, and the chip is locked out. There's no way to reprogram it or anything. So yeah, guys, just some things to think about, so you can proceed accordingly moving forward. I thought they were interesting, worth talking about, worth discussing. What are some things in the chat that used to be free that you didn't have to pay monthly subscription for, that you now have to pay monthly subscription for? I'm real interested in hearing what they're doing to us as consumers, because it seems like we're buying these products and we never own them, right? And I used to be a big heavy fan of the Sawgrass SG500 and SG1000. I have my SG500 right here, SG1000 in the other house. Even my printer, my Uninet, my iColor 650 proprietary ink system, Sawgrass proprietary ink system. It's like everything I look around, everywhere I look, is something proprietary, something that requires me to only shop with that company. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, guys, AlanAway.com for the best DTF prints from any influencer that you know. I can give you the best DTF prints out of all the influencers that you know. I've been in the game for a long time. And coming up on my website very, very soon, I'll be releasing my own line of inks and my own line of cleaning solution, along with a way that I've been using for years now to keep my print heads from getting clogged, using my proprietary cleaning solution. Let me know if you guys are interested in that, and I'll try to like push it forward a little bit sooner. I'm waiting for some containers to come in now so I can get everything packaged up for you guys for the first batch. So thank you so much for joining in today. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Boy, Alan. Peace.